Strong to severe thunderstorms across the region, capable of producing hail and wind gusts as they move through portions of Catahoula and Concordia parishes. But again, this one lone storm is the one prompting a tornado warning moving through the southern parts of the parish. This is well south of many of the higher populated areas of Grant Parish, but also still includes some fairly widely traveled roads as you move toward the Baghdad community and the Rock Hill community. This would be our possible tornado here. So again, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado in these regions. Make sure that you take proper tornado precautions immediately. Interior portion of your home, away from windows and doors. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this is all on the tail end of a cold front that's continuing to press through the region, and we've gone a couple of hours without any tornado warnings across the area. This one, the first one that we've seen in about the past hour to 90 minutes or so, and again is also on the southern extents of the region and should press out relatively shortly. I know that for folks that are joining us on NBC 10 and Fox 14, we're in the middle of primetime programming. Hopefully won't be with you too terribly long as these storms press off to the south and east. Most of the other more organized activity is actually outside of our viewing area. So we're watching as this one presses to the southern extents of the viewing area again, where it ends in Grant Parish. Although again, eastward motion of this storm would carry it into central portions of LaSalle and Catahoula parishes if it were to hold on and remain organized to that extent. So we may not necessarily be entirely done with this storm as it moves through the region, just depending on how organized it remains here in the short term. But really watching for the possible tornado here in this area that's kind of wrapped in rain, perhaps even a little bit farther southward, but really focused on the Rock Hill community and the Baghdad community as you move through southern sections of Grant Parish. You can see the Creola and Prospect and Magnolia Park communities as well, which are also included in this tornado warning, with Rock Hill Road being one of the more noticeable roads as this storm continues off generally to the east, maybe the southeast, at a pretty slow pace between 25 and 30 miles per hour. So again, if these neighborhoods, these communities sound familiar to you, we've been on air pretty repeatedly through the course of the evening with numerous tornado warnings across the area. So again, just want to stress to folks that you need to be sheltered into your safe place, interior portion of your home, away from windows and doors. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Think, again, lowest level. Think interior hallway, closet, bathroom. Take a pillow with you, a helmet if you have one, and protect yourself from potential flying debris in the event that a tornado has formed. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado, meaning that we don't necessarily confirm this on the ground, but the rotation was concerning to a point in this kind of broad generalized area as it moves off to the east. Quick check of the shear, and you can see some brighter colors indicating some twisting of the winds associated with this storm as it presses through the southern extents of our viewing area. And I just want folks to be in their safe places and sheltered as we go through the next couple of minutes. Alex?
You know, as fast as this area of rotation quickly spun up, we've been tracking this all the way since it was in Gina off towards the north and northwest. It looks to be broadening out as of this time, and in certain types of thunderstorms will do that. They'll pulse. They'll enter an environment that is more favorable, more conducive for severe thunderstorm development and thus tornado development. But then it may enter a less favorable environment, more dry air, or in this case, it may be that the front itself is kind of kicking out ahead of it and kind of outflowing the boundary. If you look towards the Boyce area, all of those greens and reds are very horizontal towards each other. There's not a whole lot of mixing there. So I wouldn't be surprised if this tornado warning actually gets canceled early. But in the line of thunderstorms that we're tracking across these southern parishes, it is notable that they are producing a lot of lightning, possibly large hail, and of course strong wind gusts.
Yeah, and so that's another thing to keep in mind as the storm continues off to the south and east, is that we've seen kind of a quick burst in increases in the lightning count. That usually means a storm is intensifying instead of weakening. You can see also that a lot of these storms are starting to outrun their severe thunderstorm warnings. And so while we're focused on the tornado warning, there's additional clusters of storms that stretch out to the east, some capable of producing some quarter size hail, maybe a little bit larger, and also the damaging wind gusts. The same aspects for southern Grant and LaSalle parishes as the last of these storms exit the region. Again, this was a pretty short form tornado warning, so for folks that are joining us in programming and they're frustrated with the fact that we're in the middle of the television, I understand that, totally acknowledge it, and I know that it's an unpopular thing to do, but again, when tornado warnings are issued, especially when a lot of these storms have a history of producing down power lines and trees and things of that nature, we don't know if those are tornado caused damages yet, or whether maybe they was just straight line wind gusts. And again, we don't really go into a lot of that speculation, but any potential rotation would be right along the southern extents of this viewing area. And as Alex mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if this warning is canceled early. If it is canceled early, we'll send you back to your programming as quickly as possible, and we'll bring down the live streams and all of that nature. But the Pollock community probably expecting to see some pretty heavy rainfall in the short term, and then you start moving into northern sections of Rapides Parish, Ball, Tioga, Alexandria, Pineville, and some of those areas as well. That's well off to the south. And again, this is a storm that's going to kind of crawl through portions of Grant Parish and then could impact portions of LaSalle Parish as well as it moves off to the east. But again, the warning goes for another 15 minutes or so. If you're looking at this and wondering where a potential tornado would be, and we talk about how storms strengthen and weaken, this would be our area right here. So again, if you wanted to get hyper specific, the Magnolia Park community and then the Prospect community probably seeing some very heavy rain, and the storms in these areas are also probably quite scary in terms of the lightning and the frequency of the lightning. Again, remember that severe thunderstorms are by definition really measured by wind and hail, so as frequent as the lightning may be, that's not a severe aspect of a thunderstorm as it sits. But again, you could still see at least some type of storm structure that could indicate a possible tornado, although rotation within this storm has broadened out and become a little bit more weak in the last 5 to 10 minutes. And that's been the case with a lot of these storms as we've come and gone through the course of the day. Is they'll look really, really good for a radar scan or two, and then they'll fizzle out pretty quickly. Again, we'd be looking in this area right here, and I don't really see a whole lot. This is well northeast of the Boyce community and some of those surrounding areas, and you can see that storm and even the possible areas of rotation are starting to kind of press off to the south and starting to perhaps even exit not only Grant Parish but also the entire county warning area. So again, warning is in effect until 8:30. I would generally expect that we probably won't be with you for another 16 minutes. I would think maybe another 5 or 10 as the storm starts to exit the area and the area of rotation starts to push out. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning will hold, but I really expect this to be kind of a short form tornado warning as it progresses to the east. Elsewhere, periods of heavy rain have also prompted some flash flood concerns, especially where these slow-moving thunderstorms have started to set up and been a little bit problematic. I believe we have a flash flood warning out for Wynn Parish. Please exercise caution on our local roadways. And even as we've hit the 8:15 time frame, all of our severe thunderstorm warnings have started to drop off the map. So really the only warning we have out right now is this tornado warned storm as it moves through southern Grant Parish. So again, make sure that you're staying sheltered in your safe place, at least here in the short term as the storm continues to move to the east.
With the horizontal nature of these thunderstorms, we mentioned this earlier with the winds being horizontal and not parallel. It's almost as if this is becoming a larger hail threat than anything. When you have a storm that pushes from west to east, or even out of the northwest to the southeast, you have that greater wind threat and that mixing threat, which could create tornadoes. In this case, it's purely going almost towards the south or almost towards the east directly, and that horizontal wind threat is a lot more related to hail versus than the other parameters for severe thunderstorms. And that's almost exactly what we're seeing with this particular thunderstorm here. I would not be surprised to see a quarter-sized hail or even larger there. And to look at reflectivity, the leading edge of the boundary that we were tracking has completely moved out of the tornado warning polygon, and I would not be surprised to see it canceled.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think we're headed that way right now. And so we're already getting indications from the National Weather Service that this tornado warning will be canceled or will be replaced with a special weather statement as the storm has started to move out and the storm in question has started to weaken below the characteristics that would warrant a tornado warning. So again, this tornado warning in the process of being canceled. As soon as I get the official kind of heads up, there it goes, dropped off off the map. Well, let's go ahead and send everything back to programming. NBC 10 and Fox 14 will keep you updated with anything change, if anything changes, as we continue through the rest of the evening.